from Canada, from the left.
The long-awaited.
We would promised. Well, Gonky promised it last week, and we lied. didn't do it. But we're not going to watch all 6 minutes. But
Alf, were you ever a demo guy for the?
No, I did though. When I worked a lot in the simulator in Bagotville, I would run the simulator while the previous year's demo pilot would teach the next year's demo pilot. Okay. So I flew a lot of the stuff in the sim just to try it out. But there were certain things like the square loop going downhill. I would always inject a leading edge flap fail as he was headed straight down. Because that was probably the worst case scenario. And there was also there was another one where I'd give him an engine failure during the high alpha pass. And so there were techniques there. And usually on the first time they'd crash on the high alpha pass, and then they'd milk it out at about 22 AOA and just get it barely to come up.
Does Canada do it like the Air Force or the Navy, so to speak, in the sense that in the Navy, if you're a demo pilot, you're also a schoolhouse pilot. It's like just another duty you did. Yeah. Whereas in the Air Force, it's like that's all you do is demo. What does Canada do?
Like the Navy, you're a regular pilot and your weekends are full of doing this, and then once or twice a week you practice when you can get a clean aircraft and do the job. But you're in the schedule and doing everything else.
All right. Well, for your reaction, we'll do the first part. We're not going to do the whole. We'll do like the first 2 minutes. This part is really.
I had somebody ask me if there was a limiter to stop you from scraping the burner cans on takeoff, and no, there's not. But what I said is he does it with flaps up. So by the time he does that, he's going fast enough and enough thrust. He takes off with about 8,000 pounds of gas. So you've already got 1-to-1 thrust to weight. So it basically just gets airborne before it can really scrape, but it's close.
I didn't notice that. Flaps were up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing they do is they keep the flaps up auto and then rotate late, like at 180 knots or something.
Yeah. That was late. God, that thing's moving.
Yeah.
Hard to believe that's 180 knots.
Yeah.
Standard engines, Alf, right? Canada didn't do EP.
These are not the EPEs. They're the 32,000 pounds in burner with both of them.
Yeah.
I got to say, that's a wicked paint scheme.
Yeah.
That thing looks good.
It's really nice. The 100th anniversary of the RCAF formed on April Fool's Day, 1924.
Was that like a throwback to an original paint scheme? Is that what it's?
No, there's all kinds of elements in there. It's very, very busy paint scheme. I haven't had a good look at it, but it's got all sorts of little symbolic stuff all over it.
Alf, your time in the Hornet, did the demo routine change at all, or have they kept it pretty standard?
This is quite different from back then. For several years, it was almost always the same one, and now I've seen them change it up a bit here and there.
Is that, you think, because of the software updates, the flight control systems probably made some things possible or more safe?
That's a good question. I'm not sure what triggered it because I was out of the game when they upgraded to the new was it 17 COFPs or something, or
I forget. Yeah,
but they certainly made it safer because now this losing control when you're bottoming out at high alpha is less of a problem.
Yeah, they had that mishap, right? That probably changed. Didn't they have the ejection?
Yeah, you lost the motor during the high alpha pass.
Yeah.
That really didn't have a lot to do with anything to do with flight controls. He didn't realize he'd lost the engine. And he actually sat next to me in the simulator console with his back brace for a couple months.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Brian Buse was his name, Boozer.
So he's got everything out.
Yep.
Yeah. Probe, hook.
Yeah. Man. And all the dirt's on the top of the canopy there.
Oh yeah.
It's
all the dead bugs.
Yeah, for sure.
That's such a good looking airplane.
Yeah, that paint job.
Mm-hmm.
They've got
don't like them like they used to anymore.
No, man, they've got the best. Yeah. No chance getting a paint job like that on an F-35.
It would take a lot of paint.
Special paint.
It would be a lot of paint. Yeah. Do we want to watch anything anymore, Gonky?
Nah, it's fine. I just wanted, I really just kind of want to pick Alp's brain about, how does Canada do their demo? And I mean, obviously it's a lot, it's probably part of the Air Force's public affairs campaign to attract, the next generation.
Yeah, we used to have one demo pilot and aircraft per wing, but now there's just one, so it alternates between the two bases. And we've had, of course, with the pandemic and all that, it threw a wrench into the works. And, also with the F-35 showing up, we're going to be downscaling our air shows at the main operating bases because of the security problems.
Yeah. Yeah. I also wonder if they just kind of want to preserve the flight hours on the Hornets they have, right? Because you said they're going to spend some money to upgrade these even more.
Yeah, these aircraft, this routine is actually pretty tough on fatigue life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a loaded roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow. A little bunt to accelerate.
Yeah.
There's the fuel.
Yeah. That thing there.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
That is awesome. Hey, Alf, that reminded me of one thing I wanted to ask you, because I put it on my Facebook page the other day, is footage of a Canadian Hornet doing tail slides. Did you guys have a flight in the syllabus where you would go up and try to depart the airplane? It was like a confidence flight that they would do with us when I was a student to show you how basically far past the envelope really you could push the airplane and still have some sort of control. Did you guys do that? Did you teach it?
Early on, yes, we did that. And in the F5 as well. And it was scarier in the F5 than it was in the Hornet, that's for sure. Because you'd go about 70 degrees nose up and then chop the throttles and just let it fall. And compressor stalls happened about 60% of the time in the F5.
Right. So did they eventually take that out of the Hornet syllabus?
I don't know. I don't know what the latest version is of the syllabus,
yeah.
But we used to do it.
They took it out. Because when I became an IP, they didn't do it anymore, which I thought was
waste of time. Eh?
I thought, as a student, I thought it was awesome. I mean, we tail slid it complete. The fuel was going past the canopy, and we totally cross controlled, and it would kind of start to spin, and then it would just spiral. So it really put a lot of confidence in me as far as like, okay, this thing ain't like the T-45. So, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.